This is air cannon video number 40. Today's shoot didn't go terribly well, but I decided to include the failures anyway as a matter of interest. Today's shoot is with wax slugs of various types. I got high velocities from them in the 7 to 900s of feet per second, but the lighter slugs didn't prove to be terribly accurate at the 10 meters range. I could not hit a 1-gallon paint can solidly at 10 meters distance until I got to a heavier slug of 560 grains, where I had no problem hitting a 2-liter pop bottle. I found this 25mm barrel to be quite accurate with the heavier lead slugs that weigh 2,500 to 2,800 grains. Those will hold on a pop can no problem at 10 meters. But these lighter slugs, these wax slugs, seem to be a bit of an accuracy issue. I'll be working on it, and I will reshoot this video probably at a closer targeting range, maybe 5 meters, so I can show the effect of each slug on a water-filled target. I made up some wax slugs to try with the air cannon and 25mm barrel. From left to right, the first slug is 310 grains, made with steel filings as the filler. Second slug is 370 grains, made with popcorn as the filler. Next is a 450 grain rock salt slug, a 456 grain slug with aluminum filings, a 510 grain slug featuring kitty litter, a 560 grain slug coarse sand, an 1100 grain slug made with microwave oven screws, and last a 1213 grain wax slug filled with 1/4-inch steel washers. First up is the 310 grain steel filing slug. It'll be fired at 400 psi from the 25mm barrel. The target is a 1-gallon paint can filled with water. 400 psi and fire. And I missed. This time, we're going to try the 370 grain popcorn slug at the 1-gallon paint can full of water. .400 psi and fire. Up next is the 450 grain rock salt slug, to be fired at 400 psi, still targeting a paint can that I can't seem to hit today. 400 psi, 450 grain rock salt slug, and fire. Well, we'll try the 456 grain aluminum filing slug in the 25mm barrel at 400 psi. And fire. Up next is the 510 grain kitty litter slug, still targeting the untouchable paint can, firing at 400 psi. And fire. Finally hit it with the 510 grain kitty litter slug. Loaded with the 560 grain sand slug, firing at 400 psi, finally managed to put a tiny crease in the 1 gallon paint can that made it leak, so I'll switch to an even harder to hit target, a 2-liter pop-pop. Well, here goes. I hit it? Amazing. This is the 310 grain steel filings wax slug, as recovered. It completely missed the paint can and drilled through a 5/8 inch thick melamine board before being stopped by the melamine board behind that. This is a close-up of the face of my chronograph. One of the wax slugs partially fragmented in the barrel, and as you can see, right below the letters O and N in the word chrony, there's a little dent in the front of my screen. This did not harm the chronograph in any way. Fortunately, it still works perfectly. Thanks for watching Air Cannon number 40.